We're back live, final segment. Don't forget, right when this show ends, my new film I produced, directed by Jason Bermas, that made Loose Change with Dylan Avery. That is coming out, Fabled Enemies, new 9/11 information, an amazing film. T-minus about 12 minutes. You can watch that live at prisonplanet.tv. Well, there's links at Infowars.com. Get the DVD there, or watch online at prisonplanet.tv right now. I want to take a few calls for Dr. Roberts, but finishing up the statement you were making, and then my question about the mindset of the people. I mean, for an elite to sneak attack Russia and then say that Russia snuck attack, basically came into Georgia for no reason, that's a new level of Orwellian lies.
Yes, it's possible, though, because the media was concentrated, as we've discussed before, under Clinton in 1997. There's about 5 oligarchs or mega corporations that own the American media. It's no longer an independent and diverse media. It's a ministry of propaganda. So whatever comes out of the White House, the media repeats as truth. The rest of the world sees through this, but Americans don't watch world news. They watch CNN, Fox News, and the networks, and so they have no real idea of what the truth is. And this is another reason, of course, that it's so easy to lead Americans into nuclear war, and which is directly where we're headed. The Russians are not going to put up with American missile bases on their frontiers. They're not going to put up with Ukraine and Georgia being part of NATO. They can't afford that. They're a powerful and independent people. They don't intend to be our puppets. And so we're headed directly into nuclear war. This is what the Republicans and the neoconservatives are bringing to the world.
And is that part of the megalomania, the hubris, the we control reality business?
Yes, that's exactly it.
But you're saying you talk to a lot of high-powered people, and they're saying they're really concerned and don't know where this is going.
They're really concerned because for the first time in American history, the professional people in the government have no voice. They're threatened, they're neglected, they're shut up, they have no power. See, in the old days, they could leak to the New York Times, but now the New York Times sits on it for a year.
Or says
and then goes and tells the government that somebody has leaked to them.
Or they lie about yellow cake and aluminum tubes. Not just sit on it, they lie.
Oh, but they lied about that because that's what the government told them.
Exactly. No, it's...
But when the NSA official, the NSA guy told them that the Bush administration was spying on Americans without warrants, they sat on it for 1 year.
Well, that's just like the New Yorker magazine sat on till later Dick Cheney planning to stage terror attacks. I mean, that's big news.
Yeah.
So Dr. Roberts, where do you see this going?
As I've already said, nuclear war. We're headed to nuclear war.
You think they're just going to keep pushing and moving more troops up against the Russians?
Well, no, they don't have any troops. I mean, the Russians would tear our troops to pieces.
No, I know, but they're moving in advisors in the client states, Poland, Ukraine.
They're going to provoke Russia by trying to degrade their nuclear deterrent in order to bully Russia
with the anti-missile systems. Yes,
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to continue that until Russia says, "Okay."
But I meant stirring up the brush fire wars.
Well, the other day, the chief Russian general told Poland that you will die in nuclear war for putting those American bases on your territory.
I know the Russians are saying and I saw a top Russian general 2 weeks ago, and I saw their new president read the NATO doctrine that I'd forgotten about that they started in '97 of NATO stating it is our policy to preemptively prepare for a first strike on Russia and to escalate and push them into this.
Exactly, but Russia is doing nothing to us.
What is wrong with NATO? I mean, why do these guys want nuclear war?
Well, NATO, the Europeans don't. But all the European leaders are bought by the United States. We simply give the leaders money, bagfuls of money. I'm not talking about foreign aid. We give them tens of millions of dollars. We guarantee their financial future.
No, that's admitted now. In fact, it's been mainstream news that our government's totally mafia, and they even take over local cities like that. I've interviewed police chiefs where they just, the COG shows up with bags of money.
That's right. We buy people, and they sell out their own countries in order to get the money.
Amazing. Let's take a call here. This is incredible. Let's go ahead and talk to Jared in New Mexico. An economic question for Dr. Roberts. Go ahead. You're on the air.
First of all, I would like to thank both of you, Mr. Jones and Dr. Roberts, for all the great work you're doing on behalf of patriotic Americans. My question today is, why doesn't Russia and or China dump their U.S. reserve, their U.S. dollar reserve?
Because they're sane. They're trying to work with us. Dr. Roberts?
Well, I think you gave him the correct answer. They really can't believe the insanity of the American government. It doesn't make any logical sense. Now, China has such an enormous store of American assets and treasury bonds that they could dump it and essentially destroy us overnight. It could come to that. But they just don't really understand that they're targeted for a nuclear attack because the Americans want to rule the world. It doesn't make any sense to them.
Let's make that clear. The global elite that sit in our capitals, not the American people. We have to pay for this. And in closing, sir, in the last 3-4 minutes we've got left, the economy unraveling faster than we'd previously thought.
Yes, it's unraveling faster than we previously thought. According to the way the United States government measured inflation and unemployment prior to the Clinton administration, who rigged both measures in order to cheat old people out of their cost of living adjustments to Social Security. If we measure inflation and unemployment the way it was measured during the Reagan years, for example, the current inflation rate in the United States is 9%, and the current unemployment rate is 14.3%. Now, that is catastrophic.
Because that compounds.
Look, we used to get upset when unemployment was 6%, or inflation was 6%. As of the end of July, the pre-Clinton official government measures of inflation are 9%, and unemployment 14.3%. Now, we never had 14.3% unemployment except during the Depression. It was higher during the Depression, but that was the only time it had reached a figure of that.
So where do you see it going in the short-term, midterm?
I don't know. I don't see any way low interest rates can help an economy that's maxed out on debt. When people are so much in debt, they can't borrow any more in order to go spend it. And so I think we're in a downward spiral. And temporarily, the Bush administration has prevailed on European central banks, on the Saudis, the Japanese, to go buy dollars, to support the dollar so they can continue this low interest rate policy through the election. See, the current interest rates on Treasury bonds are below the rate of inflation. So the foreigners who buy the bonds simply are losing money. This would normally cause a dollar crisis.
Is that what all this militarism is, like threatening the world with a gun to their head? If you don't keep propping us up, we'll start World War III.
It could be that.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Also that they're delusional because they've got a lot of space-based weapons, as you know, a lot of secret things in the black projects, black ops, and that's another reason they're so arrogant. They've got some things they think can just completely...
you know, Alex, one Russian SS-18 missile
has 24 warheads.
Anywhere on the East Coast is essentially going to end existence east of the Mississippi River.
I know, 24 MIRVs.
So they're taking enormous risk with human life, with our country, And there's no earthly reason for it. Russia is not threatening us.
Well, Dr. Roberts, you shouldn't be so upset. There's ball games on. There's cheeseburgers flowing. The economy's great. Folks, you better wake up and get serious, or it's going to mean the reign of the cockroach, as Dr. Roberts has said. Dr. Roberts, thank you. Have a great Memorial Day, and hug your family for me. I'll hug mine.
Okay. Good for you.
Thank you,
All
sir.
Right. You're welcome.
Take
Goodbye.
care. There he goes, former editor of the Wall Street Journal, former head of the Treasury under Ronald Reagan. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be back tomorrow and back throughout the week and next week. Fabled Enemies goes live at prisonplanet.tv and get the DVD right now. The premiere of prisonplanet.tv, Fabled Enemies, starts now.
Hi, this is